Weston's a pretty great school to go to. You guys agree?
I agree. They have great students, great teachers. You know him.
Mr. Myers!
He has a lot on his plate. He does a lot for us. He makes our education better.
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Myers works hard every single day that he comes to school. He's responsible, loyalty.
He comes in our classes to check on us.
Dedication.
Yeah, he's always there for us when we need help.
I agree.
But how did Mr. Myers become a principal?
Yeah, how about we find that out? How about we bring him in for an interview?
Yeah, we should bring him in.
Yeah. So we can tell others.
I agree with that.
Mr. Myers, describe the best day of your life.
That's a good question, Chris. I've had a lot of great memories throughout my life, but for me, my life completely changed on actually 2 days. One, November 5th, 2009, and the other one, April 21st, 2012, when my children, Jordan and Braden, were born.
What steps did you have to get to the position you are right now?
For me, there were many steps that I needed to take to get to where I'm at today. First, I went to college for my undergraduate degree in elementary education, and I did that at Westchester University. From there, I was a teacher in the Ewing Township Public Schools. I taught first grade for 5 years, all while going to graduate school to obtain my master's degree in educational administration. From there, when I graduated with my master's degree, I moved from Ewing Township to the West Windsor Plainsboro School District, where I was an assistant principal and a reading recovery teacher for 2 years. From there, after 2 years in West Windsor, I then interviewed and was able to obtain the position of principal here in the Woodbury City Public School District, where I've now been for 9 years.
Mr. Myers, can you tell me what the most challenging part of your job is?
Well, Michael, that's a hard question to answer because every day is different. I plan for every day like a blank slate. I really never know how the day is going to unfold. I generally, coming into the morning at 6 in the morning, have a good idea of how I want the day to go with things that I already know that are on my plate. The most challenging part may very well be the unknown. That's no different than in the workplace than in the real world, where you really can't plan for the unknown. The most important part in doing that is being a calm constant throughout the day, so that way I can tend to the needs of everything and everyone in the building.
In what ways do you help out in your communities?
Well, Vince, one way that indirectly we help with the community at West End is just by working with the students every day. My hope is that I'm helping the community by being a good model for all of our students. As a building, we have various partnerships with organizations in the community to help our students, whether it be the Kiwanis Club, the Woodbury Rotary Club. They do nice things for our kids throughout the course of the year, as well as other organizations in the community to work with our kids.
What is the favorite part of the job?
A good question and an easy question to answer. The kids. My favorite part of the job is coming to work every day to work with the kids. When I taught first grade, my first classroom had 26 students in it, which is a very large classroom of 6-year-olds with just one teacher. And it was at that moment when I was starting to help mold those students, those 26 students, into independent readers, that I saw a bigger picture, that I didn't just want to change and have an impact on one classroom, but I wanted to start to have an impact on an entire building and then branch out to the community. So to answer your question directly, my favorite part of the job is coming to work every day, coming to school every day, working with the kids.
What inspired you to get into the field of education?
My mom was a first grade teacher in Philadelphia, and I saw her coming home from work every day to put food on the table, make sure my brother and I were taken care of, and she would look at her, I remember vividly, math work and spelling work, and when a student went from a C to a B to an A or started showing progress, I looked over and I saw my mom's face light up, and I knew at that point that I wanted to make a difference. As an adult, interestingly, when I moved out of my mom's house, I went through my childhood box, and there was an autobiography that I wrote in 3rd grade. So here I am looking through that box, and in 3rd grade, guess what I wrote down that I wanted to be? I wanted to be a teacher. So my mom was my inspiration, my mom was my hero, and continues to be my drive to do better each day.
Do you have any advice for the Woodbury youth?
It's real simple, and some of the advice that I'm going to give you now, and everybody watching the video now, are some things that I only really learned until recently. Number one, work hard. If you work hard, good things will happen. Number two, always believe in yourself, because when you believe in yourself, again, good things will happen. And the third piece is to always, always, always believe in a growth mindset. You can always work hard. If you work hard, you will always get better. So my biggest piece of advice, work hard, implement the growth mindset, and anything can happen.
Mr. Meyers, can you tell me what is your biggest concern when on the job?
I relate everything that I do here. I try to relate everything I do at West End to my own childhood growing up. My biggest concern and fear is really this one question. Did I do enough? Did I make a difference? And I don't mean the 6 or 7 years that students are here in West End and in Woodbury with us at West End, but I also mean on a day-to-day basis. For some students, I'm concerned, did someone say goodbye to them when they left their house? Is someone there to say, how was your day, when they come in? So when I have students here for 5.5, 6 hours a day, my biggest concern, did we do enough, did I do enough to make students feel successful so that when they go home, they have a good story to tell, and then we hope that that success can carry forth on a daily basis, and then in a bigger picture, 6 or 7 years at West End, junior, senior high school, college, and beyond to help students develop into productive citizens.
Mr. Meyers, has there ever been a time you felt that you couldn't achieve your goals, and why?
I think there are many times where any individual will feel that they can't achieve their goals. I was going to school to be a school teacher, an elementary school teacher. I was in my junior year, and my sophomore year just finished up. I was on summer break, and I get a phone call from my uncle, who I really didn't talk to a whole lot at that time. And in that moment, my life was just crushed. At 20 years old, going into my junior year of college, I got a phone call telling me that my dad passed away from a massive heart attack. Now remember, I told this group of our S.L.A.G boys earlier that I didn't have a great relationship with my dad. So for me to get that phone call was devastating, because at that time, I was 2 years in of mending my relationship with my father. So all that progress I felt was now just ripped out from under me. But I knew at that time I needed to persevere, I needed to push through, and I decided to use that hurt and that pain as my motivation then, even though I thought I couldn't do it, to use my motivation to keep moving forward. I then spent my junior and senior year of college working my tail off, never getting less than a 4.0, meaning straight A's, in my remaining 8 semesters. So I used that hurt to propel me to success.
What impressions do you have on your community?
So a couple things that I would like to have, I want to have a positive impression on the Woodbury community, not just in our building, but beyond in the city of Woodbury as well. With our student body, I want students to recognize that on a daily basis, it's my goal to be fair, to hear students out, listen to their problems, listen to the concerns, and work through them. Whether a student agrees with the outcome or not, may not have as much of an impact in the immediate, in the present, but I want it to carry forward in the future.
What childhood experiences has shaped your life?
Any experience could have a positive or negative shape in anyone's life. My experience as a child that started shaping me really started at 7 years old, when my parents got divorced. I was devastated. I wanted my parents together, and I didn't take it well. I verbally abused my mom by yelling things at her, not nice things at her, at the young age of 7, and that continued up until maybe I was 10 years old. And I needed to go through therapy for that too. I needed to go to counseling so I can be a better person and treat my mom better. It came to a point where my mom and I needed to communicate by writing to each other. We couldn't have a civil conversation. During that time, I visited my dad and my stepmom, and I visited them every other weekend. And everything that I gave to my mom because I couldn't understand why these changes were happening, sadly happened to me, but on the adult end. I was verbally abused by my dad and my stepmom for about 3 years, where I then, at 12 years old, decided, hey, I'm not putting up with this anymore, I want out. I then made the conscious choice to not visit my dad for 6 years. And then I'm growing up, and I'm now graduating high school. I wouldn't be there if it weren't for my dad. So I then said to my dad, hey dad, I'm graduating, I want you there. Wouldn't be there if it weren't for you. Not always a positive trait, but many men do it. They don't talk about their problems, they just move on. And so my dad and I moved on. We had 2 great years of a positive relationship, and I graduated high school June 12th, 1995. I got the phone call that my dad died June 12th, 1997. Exactly 2 years. So that was a big impression of my life. That was really just a series of failures in my life that really propelled me to success. My dad died in June 12th, 1997. February of 1998, I get a phone call that my grandfather passed away. May of 1998, I'm at a Phillies game, about to go with my friend, and I get a phone call that my stepfather passed away. In a matter of 18 months, I lost the 3 important men, the most important men in my life. But again, that drove me to dig deep and push forward and succeed. Because those were major things that happened to me before I even turned 21 and graduated college. But if I ever seem tough with some of our students in our building, and I maybe ride them a little hard on a personal level, it's because I want to show them that we can be tough and I can help you through it, because I've been through it. I've been through failure, I've been knocked down, and I'm still standing, and I'm extremely successful for it. And a part of the success, and now as I am a successful principal, what continues to have a positive impression on my life are the kids of West End, where I see what they go through every day, and that they help me make it through my days as well, as I'm trying to help and give back and help them too.
Thank you.